Well, good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, April 20th, 2015. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rachel Dr. Ray Rivers. I am an author, a speaker, and a love coach. And today I wanted to address a subject. Actually, it was more like one of my fans who purchased my book and read my book out in California. He wrote in and he had some questions for me regarding my book and regarding love and relationships. I don't coin myself as the relationship expert, more so because I'm still single. So the purpose of this video log is to give encouragement to single people who desire to be married, desire a mate. And as I continue to go through that process and that journey, I created this blog just to keep people encouraged. So this is what he wrote on the email. It says, "What made you write your book in such a conversational tone? It drove me crazy, but I got over it." That's question one. Question two: how do you know when you're settling or someone else is settling? Question three: can distant lovers work, or is it just infatuations and fantasies? And question four: do having high standards really get you what you want when you don't know what you want anymore? And then he goes on to say, "I have a lot of questions, but I don't know the right questions to ask. I think I've been through a lot in the last 6 years, and I'm just about done with love. Maybe your advice will guide and inspire me." Well, I sincerely hope that what I have to say will, give you some guidance and some direction and maybe help others out there who have some of these same questions. But first of all, my book, Journey to Self, Journey to Love, here it is. It has been out for 4 years now, and I know that all of my family and friends and fans are anxiously awaiting my next big project. And I just keep promising everyone and myself that I'm going to have something out this year, 2015. 2015 is going to be an epic year, and it probably already is for a lot of us entrepreneurs, those aspiring to be authors and writers, those who are actually, finding their soulmates and the love of their life. Um, so let's get into answering some of these questions. First of all, I'm really happy right now. I have some older videos on this blog where I really wasn't happy and I was really frustrated with the whole process and the things that I went through professionally in my career. Going to graduate school and those type of things and not being able to obtain the type of job that I really wanted. But sometimes you just have to go through a spiritual battle and it just makes you stronger. It makes you humble and it makes you more grateful for the things, that you've been working hard for. So I'm really just expressing a lot of gratitude to God and a lot of friends and family that were just there for me, during the hard times and the rough times. But the Lord has blessed me with a job that's actually a part of my purpose. I get to talk to students, pretty much every day about, life, about college, and about, learning to love themselves. So that's what it's about. And I'm just really grateful, that God has placed me in this type of position. It took long enough, but I guess, that's just how it is. Whatever it is that you're praying about or striving for, sometimes you're not mature or ready for what God has for you. So all I can say is be patient and keep praying, because that's what I had to do. That's what I'm continuing to have to do. Okay, so this video is getting a little long. But dear Done with Love, well, first of all, my book is a very conversational tone because it really started off as a blog. I had a blog over on, it was like Blogspot. I used to put stuff on MySpace and Facebook, and it was just me pretty much just venting and journaling and reflecting about how I was feeling about, certain dating situations, how I was feeling about my relationship with myself. So some people say they kind of like the fact that my book is very conversational because it's like I'm there with you having these same conversations with you. And it's funny, one of my girlfriends, she said, I feel like this is something we just talked about last week. And so the book is 4 years old, but the content never dies. The message never dies. You know, you can always use some type of encouragement when it comes to love. So he says, how do you know when you're settling or someone else is settling? How do you know? Because sometimes your family and your friends know, but I think sometimes you just know. You know, we know when we settle. We know when we want more out of a relationship than what a person is giving us. And when you're if you're not getting what you want, then technically you're settling. Um, I think that when it comes to family and friends, I don't really think anybody's ever gonna be good enough for you per se. And you know, they'll try to tell you, but you know, after a certain age, you know, like I'm over 30, you know, your friends and family are like, look, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, you're gonna love who you love, you're gonna date who you wanna date. And sometimes they don't wanna say don't do this or don't do that because they don't want to be held accountable or responsible you know, if things don't they don't want you mad at them. You know, so they can only say so much. We just have to learn, you know. And I just think that if you're in a relationship or you're dating someone and you're continuously not happy with that situation, then you're settling, and you just have to know when it's time to let go and when it's time to move on. Next question. He says, can distant lovers work or is it just infatuations and fantasies? I think that when it comes to long distance relationships or even maybe like online dating, someone who is, you know, not in your city, um, it really just depends on the maturity of the individuals in the dating relationship. Um, and it just depends on what you're looking for at that time in your life and how serious, you know, you're wanting these relationships to be, because I think sometimes we put a lot of expectations from long distance and sometimes even locally, and that sometimes that's just because the two people are not on the same page. So I think that a distance relationship can work, but it's like with any relationship, you have to want to make it work. You can be infatuated with someone's, you know, just their profile picture, you know, on an online dating site, and you don't really know that person if you all aren't really like spending time talking on the phone. You know, don't just have a text message relationship unless that's all you're looking for. Um, I think that's all I have to say, you know, because we can create these fantasies in our head, and sometimes we don't really know maybe how honest the person is being, and that's locally or long distance. But I think it just comes down to knowing what you want, you know, praying about it and using the gift of discernment about what's really going on. Because some people live double lives. So, I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of long distance. You know, been there, done that, tried it before. And again, it just really depends on what you're looking for and how serious you are about, you know, finding, you know, your soulmate or your mate. Because you do hear about some success stories about people who meet online and actually make it work. So, again, I think it just comes down to the individuals involved. It sounds kind of generic, but that's just what I believe. And then he says, do having high standards really get you what you want when you don't know what you want anymore? I say yes. You got to have some type of standard because we're always attracting. I say this all the time. You attract who you are, what you are, and a lot of times we are unaware of our own issues. And you know, you can meet somebody and they're basically going to mirror you, all your drama, all your ugliness, uh and also your good things and your positive qualities as well. So I say, you know, having high standards, but you know, what are your standards? You know, what does that mean for you? Because my expectation of high standard could be different than another person's high standard. For some people, it means, having the same educational level. For some people, that might mean, not having children or not wanting to date someone with children. Um, for some people, that might mean, I have a job, so he needs to have a job. Or, I come from a two-parent home, he needs to come from one. So I think, first of all, you have to define, what the standard is for you. For me, I'm not that concerned with educational background. I have a master's plus I have an EDS. I'm not looking for a man to have an EDS or a doctorate. That's not one of my expectations or standards. I want him to be educated though. um, because I want to be able to have those, intellectual conversations and things in common. And there are some people who are educated who don't necessarily have the degree or the credentials. So again, it's really the individual. You have to know what you want because, like I said, we're always attracting. So if I'm just out here willy nilly, not really having an ideal of what it is that I desire or what I want, make a list, write it down. That doesn't mean you have to stick to that list. You got to be kind of open. You got to open yourself up a little bit. You can't just go boom, 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 strict with the list. Some people do. Some people have found love that way. But you got to know what you want, because if you don't know what you want, you're gonna just attract everything, and you might just give anybody a chance, and sometimes that'll just set you back a little bit further than where you're trying to be. And for many of us, the goal is to find someone that they can settle down with and marry. Okay, enough about that. So I hope that this advice has answered California, Mr. California, done with love. I hope that you don't give up on love. I hope that you do give love another try. I'm, speaking for myself. Don't be so hard on yourself. I'm impatient with this process. I'm not gonna lie. I know some of you all have been seeing my Facebook statuses. I'm like, look, something's got to give. I had an opportunity to hang out with some family members that are, my age and married, and I'm like, I want to get around people like that and surround myself with people who are actually having those healthy, excuse me, positive relationships, because sometimes, you can get into a rut and you feel like it's never going to happen for me, and why am I still single? And I probably need to edit this video. All my friends are single and we sitting around drinking and having a pity party when we need to be being open and being positive about the whole, process of finding love, and just really, believing. I haven't posted a video in a while, and normally when I'm going through stuff, I won't get on here and try to be inspirational. But right now, I am feeling happy. I'm feeling free. It's spring. I am out of the winter rut, and I'm just ready, for what God has for me. I want you to get ready for what God has for you, and know that no, there aren't any prayers that go unheard. Like, God hears our innermost thoughts, even when we don't get down on our knees and pray. He knows what's going on in your head, even when you're sleeping. So if you can just trust Him and believe Him and trust His timing, I'm talking to myself. Trust that you can be healed emotionally from past relationships, um even from your childhood experiences. You may have some things that you're unaware of that you're holding on to from your childhood. Some of us may have some abandonment issues from a parent that may have left, the parents got divorced, whatever it is. One of my friends, he's also a published author, and he was just saying how some of us need to get some counseling before we start going into these relationships, because you're going to drag all that baggage into it. So you really, really got to work on yourself at all times. Be cognizant of the energy that you're emanating out into the universe, because that's exactly what you're going to bring in. So you want to keep your vibes happy and positive. And sometimes the happy vibe can draw in negativity, because you have some people out there that are just there to suck you out. But you have to be able to know when to cut it off. It's a difference between helping someone and actually, being in a relationship with that person. So that's it. That's all I have for you all today. Don't hesitate to email me your questions, whether it's about my book or whether it's about school or education or whether it's about love. Hit me up. I'm here. My email is dr.rae31@gmail.com. That's Dr. Ray 31 at gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Dr. Ray Love Coach. You can also contact me from my website, RachelRivers.com. That's Rachel with an E. I love you all, and I wish everyone the best of luck in life and in love. May 2015 bring you all that you deserve and desire for your life and your love life. And you hopefully you'll be hearing from me again soon. All right. Thank you, Mr. California, for writing in. Love you, and thanks for your support.